Hello everyone, welcome to the session. Hope everyone are safe at home. In our previous session, we have learnt about pollination, self-pollination and cross-pollination and reasons for cross-pollination. Pollination means transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma. Pollination is of two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. And reasons for cross-pollination also we have seen. In today's session, we will see agents of pollination. So pollination should happen means there should be some agents to transfer the pollen grains to stigma. Pollination should happen means there should be some agents to transfer the pollen grains from anther to stigma. And these agents might be biotic or abiotic agents also. Both the things are helping to transfer. In your previous classes, you have already studied what is biotic and abiotic. Now, first we will see pollination by biotic agents. In that, the first one, insects. The flowers that attract the insects for pollination will have bright colored petals and also nectar inside the flower. This nectar attracts the insects. The nectar is a sweet liquid eaten by the insect like bees and butterflies. The insect attracted by the colorful petals and nectar land on the flower. As a result, the pollen grains stick to the body of the insect. Now, if the same insect visits another flower of same kind, some of the pollen grains on the body of the bee will fall on the stigma of the flower, resulting in the cross-pollination by the insects. Example, rose, jasmine and marigold, etc. Even we human beings, when we touch one flower and we touch with the same hands the other flower, the pollen grains will be transferred. You can check this. Now we'll see the second one through animals. In animals, many animals such as birds, bats and squirrels help in pollination of some flowers also, including human beings also. The flowers that are pollinated by animals produce a lot of nectar, but they do not have fragrance. Fragrance means smell. They are brightly colored to attract animals. Most of them are red or orange in color. So who is working here? The petals. The petals are attracting the animals. Some flowers that open during the night are white in color. Hence, they are easily visible to nocturnal animals like moth and bat, which pollinate them. Nocturnal animal means the animals which can see only during the night time. Example, custard apple and cotton, etc. These were the two examples which we saw for biotic agents. Now we'll go for abiotic agents. Abiotic agents, first one is wind. Wind also helps in transfer of pollen grains. Wind pollinated flowers are very small in size and without colorful petals. They are mostly green in color and nectar, as there is no need to attract the insects. The pollen grains are very light in weight. They are dry and smooth that are easily carried away by the wind. Such types of flowers also produces lots of pollen grains to increase the chances of pollination by landing onto the stigma. The stigma of such flowers are generally large, feathery and hang out to easily receive the pollen grains carried the wind towards them. Example is maize, paddy and wheat, etc. Now we'll look into the second example, that is water. Water can also transfer pollen grains from male flower to the female flower. In water plants, like Vallisneria and Hydrilla water enables the pollination. The male flowers are submerged in the water and the female flowers with long stalks floats on the surface of the water. The pollen grains are light in weight and are produced in large quantities. The matured pollen grains gets detached. Detached means separated from the anthers and float on the surface of the water. The water currents carry the pollen grains to the stigma of the female flower, thus helps in pollination. Now, these are the few explanations for you. For the better understanding, I'll just show you one video that will help you for the clarity of the concept. So now, let's watch the video.
Agents of pollination. The most common agents of pollination are wind, water, insects, mammals and birds. Wind. Wind blows away pollen grains from the anthers of one flower to the stigma of another flower. Such flowers are small, not brightly colored, do not produce nectar, have very light pollen grains so that they can easily be blown away with the wind. Anthers are large and loosely attached. Stigmas hang out of the flower to trap the pollen grains. Some examples are wheat, rice, maize and ryegrass. Water. Pollination in aquatic plants is usually carried out by water. Water-pollinated flowers release their pollen grains into the water and are passively carried to other flowers by water currents. Example, seagrass. Insects. Many insects visit flowers for nectar. During the process, some pollen stick to the body parts of these insects. Then when this insect visits another flower, the pollen grains are brushed off, some of which fall on the stigma. Insect-pollinated flowers usually have a sweet smell and bright colors. Nectarines that produce nectar, sticky stigma and pollen grains. Examples are buttercup, sweet pea, orchids, hernia, etc. By butterflies and moths, Asclepias, Grindelia, Linanthus dichotomous. By flies and mosquitoes, Leptosiphon. By bees and wasps, Colrea. Flowers visited by nocturnal insects have less showy petals but are often strongly scented. Mammals. Some flowers are pollinated by small mammals such as bats and rodents. Mammal-pollinated flowers have the following characteristics. They often have a strong scent. Example, those that attract mice have a yeasty odor. They are often brown or white in color. They are quite sturdy in order to bear the vigorous activity of small mammals. While they feed on the nectar these flowers provide. Example, cobia. Birds. Bird-pollinated flowers are much more common than mammal-pollinated flowers. Two large groups of birds which pollinate flowers are the sunbirds of Africa and Asia and the hummingbirds of the Americas. Both groups of birds have long beaks that allow them to reach inside the petal tubes of flowers. Hummingbirds are well known for their ability to hover in front of the flowers while drinking the nectar. Sunbirds, however, sit on the flower stalk and collect the nectar. Bird-pollinated flowers have the following characteristics. They often have red, orange or yellow petals or sepals or stamens that are attractive to birds. They are not usually scented because most birds do not have a well-developed sense of smell. Example, Fucaria polemonium.
Hope everyone understood the concept with the video also. Now I have briefed a chart for the adaptation of pollination in flowers, that is with biotic agents and abiotic agents. You can look into the chart for the brief understanding of the adaptation for pollination in flowers. When we are learning some concept, it's not only just learning the concept, we should learn some skill from that concept which will be useful in our life. So now it's time to learn life skills. As flowers are very important parts, the bees and butterflies are also very much important for them to pollinate the flowers. To get more fruits and vegetables from all the flowers that bloom, butterflies and bees are required. Do you know there's a butterfly gardening is a one great idea to have more bees and butterflies. It also creates the pleasant environment with the beautiful flowers and butterflies. Thank you everyone. Stay home, stay safe. See you in the next session. Until then, bye bye.